Welcome one and all to Bucket Lore, and I'm Shad, and today I'm joined here with Adam.
I'm back, Bastiches.
Both of us have seen the Supergirl movie. I went to go see it last week with Will, and Adam went to go see it last night, so we can finally talk about it.
I went to go see it with our friend here. I went with Lobo. He was there.
It's crazy. I didn't know you had Jason Momoa on like speed dial.
It is crazy. He called me, said, "Hey, you want to go see the movie?" And I had to say yeah.
I hope you have.
He made me pay though.
Bastage.
Also, I just want to say, Crypto is here too.
Yes.
Crypto is here. Actually,
oh wow,
now he will fit in the frame.
Okay, he does fit in frame. He can stay. So both of us went to go see the Supergirl movie, and we really just wanted to talk about it. I already gave my spoiler-free thoughts, and
I'm only here for the spoilers. For the spoiler thoughts.
That's true. Adam is long-winded, so this is going to be a longer one, which is fine. We have some people that watch these now, so sit for a 20-minute video, eat something or something. I don't know.
We had ribs earlier.
That's true.
I recommend ribs. This is the day before the 4th when people do eat ribs. I do recommend ribs.
You're dating the episode. If you say the 4th, they'll know how long it takes me to edit this. Sorry.
It gives you an extra day.
It gives me an extra day. So Supergirl, I was kind of comparing them to, I was talking about it earlier, I was kind of comparing them to the MCU, and I put Superman is easily the Iron Man, and initially I said that Supergirl was my Thor, but I would prefer to watch Supergirl over Thor, but then you brought up it's close to Captain America.
Yeah, because I feel like the first Captain America movie was fun, people enjoyed it. There were people that had issues with it for some stupid reason, which is exactly how I feel about the people that have issues with Supergirl. It's y'all don't have good reasons. I can't say that y'all do, other than the fact that, like, I understand, and I appreciate the fact that the author of Woman of Tomorrow came out and said, hey, those of you who think that Krem dying at the end was going to be you missed the point of his entire story, then yeah, I appreciate that coming from the author. As an author myself who writes things,
that's what authors do.
I understand the idea of wanting your original, even in an adaptation, you want the core of what you meant by your story, the heart and soul of your story to still be there, to still be within the adaptation. And to have him come out and say, hey, you kind of missed the point of what I was getting at in this. To have the author come out and say that, I think that's important. I think that's important to reference. But I still think that, despite that, the movie is still a good movie. I would go and see it again. I went and saw Superman 4 times.
I love Superman. Superman was phenomenal.
I went and saw Superman 4 times. I could see myself going to see Supergirl probably 1 or 2 more times.
I'm a really big Tom King fan, the author of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I own almost all of his books. I am missing, I don't collect a bunch of Marvel books, but I'm missing, he did a Vision series. He did a Kyle Rayner and the Omega Men series, which Kevin recommended to me, and then I read it, and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever read, because it was a surprise. There's a Tom King Kyle Rayner book, and I love Kyle Rayner, and I love Tom King's books. And I read it and I was like, wow. But back to the point, you're right. Even Tom King said something about it. Like, there was a little bit of the soul that was removed from it, from comic book to movie. That doesn't mean I'm bashing on this movie. It was a fun movie. I did enjoy the movie. But
like I said, I don't know if you would put your money down to go see it again.
I'd watch it again, yeah.
I would put my money down to go see it again before it leaves theaters.
It blew my mind that there was no post-credit scene. It's been so long since I've seen a superhero movie that doesn't have a post-credit scene.
Honestly, they started doing post-credit scenes in non-superhero movies.
Yes.
It's been so long since I've seen a movie that didn't have something that happened after the credits.
Yeah, so that's kind of refreshing.
Since I didn't stay in the theater to watch it, like, so many movies have now taken that whole MCU effect, because the MCU was the first to do it.
Yeah.
So many people have taken that MCU effect and just been like, yeah, let's double down on this, let's use this. And even if they're not going to have a sequel, I think a lot of times that comes from, like, the whole doing something after the credits. I think that always came from your comedy movies, because you always had the blooper reels.
Yeah, like a little blooper, yeah.
You'd always have the blooper reels at the end of the comedy movie.
Back to Krem being killed at the end of Supergirl. In Woman of Tomorrow, the book, the entire story is written from Ruthie's perspective. She's writing the book Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and it's her experience with her. And at the end, it's pretty vague whether or not Krem is killed or not. And the whole point of the movie, which is, I was a little bummed out that Supergirl killed Krem at the end. It was warranted. I understand. Like, but these are the moral questions. These are the moral issues we have in superhero movies. That's what makes it fun.
Because I had a friend make a point to me that, like, this version of Krem is a lot more evil than the one from Woman of Tomorrow.
He was just slimy in the book.
Like, in the book, he's literally just a slimy person. In the film, he does a lot worse stuff, which I get, right? But at the same time, I kind of feel like the worse somebody is doesn't necessarily mean that the vengeance is worth the losing of that part of yourself.
One of the biggest things about superheroes I appreciate is the argument of, do you kill the bad guys? And having a code of ethics against that. And the amount of people, at least in my life, that have been like, oh yeah, I'd kill the person. I've watched war movies. I've met elderly people who have been in war before who have had to kill people. And it sits with you. It messes people up. Like, you'd have PTSD and stuff like that from, like, I understand Ruthie's gonna be messed up for the rest of her life. We have a Batman. I understand you're gonna be messed up for the rest of your life watching your parents die in front of you. But you performing that act on somebody else is gonna only make it worse.
So there's a really cool quote. It's an older, like, I forget what you call them, like older quotes that, like, you don't necessarily know who said it first. I heard it from a book series that I read, and it's on the back of one of the books because the main concept of the book is a guy going on a revenge quest because he thought his wife was dead.
Yep.
He thought his wife was killed by these people, so he's going after these people. And the quote is, when you're embarking on a quest of revenge, always prepare by digging 2 graves. Because you're never just burying the person you're trying to kill. A lot of times you're burying a part of yourself that you won't get back.
Yeah, because it messes you up. You should not take a life. That's a very, very magical thing to take away from somebody, to take a future away from somebody, and that is something I love about superhero stuff.
Even if they're evil, I think that there's not really a crime that's worthy of taking a life, only because of the fact that, like, even the worse the crime is, I feel like there are crimes where it's not enough punishment. If that makes sense.
That's facts. Yeah, I think you're letting them off way too easy by just killing them.
Right. Like, yeah, you've got the argument of the Joker, right?
I was thinking about Batman and the Joker, yeah.
Batman and the Joker just keeps coming back and doing this stuff. So I think in the case of, Batman and the Joker, I don't think that Jason was ever really right in saying that Batman is as much of an accomplice to the Joker as... I think that's kind of a crazy comparison.
Those are just the words of a broken child who was subjected to the Joker.
In a lot of ways, and I like the fact, and I know we're going, like, way off topic here, but...
That's what we do.
With regards to the Joker specifically, the Joker only still exists because of the fact that Batman does. And, like, they've explored that so many times in comics and in film and in TV shows of... The Joker just kind of stops being the Joker when Batman goes away.
It's a game. They go back and forth.
It's a cat and mouse game where, unfortunately, one of them is a psychopathic murderer.
Okay. I'm gonna reel us back into Supergirl.
Yeah, let's go back to talking about Krem.
We're so sorry. We can go off of Krem. There's a lot of other Supergirl movies to talk about.
I mean, my last thing with regards to Krem is I think that killing him was in a way warranted, but at the same time, I think it kind of defeats the entire message that Supergirl was trying to give to Ruthie.
In the book, they put him in the Phantom Zone, and that is a just punishment.
That is a fate worse than death.
Yeah.
You know how many people are in the Phantom Zone? You know how many monsters that Krypton put in the Phantom Zone?
And that would have been a really cool expansion of the DC universe.
Honestly, they could have, at that point, they could have teased, I don't know, General Zod.
Yeah, we in the post-credit scene we didn't get, but
we could have. In all honesty, we could have gotten a tease for Zod. We could have gotten. There's so many different people that exist within the Phantom Zone especially because of the fact that the Phantom Zone technically exists outside of time.
Which is problematic.
Because time doesn't exist in there.
You just suffer.
You just suffer endlessly. You don't age. You don't get older. You don't get younger.
We're gonna make this the Legion of Superheroes problem. They'll
Right.
deal with it later.
And that happens for some of the villains. Like when Superman puts Cyborg Superman in there, Hank Henshaw. He becomes a problem later on. He becomes a problem from inside the Phantom Zone without ever leaving.
Mm-hmm.
There's an entire video game based on it called Superman Man of Steel. Great game for the original Xbox. Older game, great game.
How'd you feel about Supergirl in this movie? Millie Alcock.
Man, I love Millie. Millie's great.
I like her as well. I think it was a very good casting.
I will never understand the hate. She was so great. She was great for the 2 seconds we saw her
at the end of Superman. Yeah,
I fell in love with her then.
I knew the vibes of her next appearance.
I fell in love with her then. And that was all she wrote. I was ready for this movie then. I was ready for this movie in 2025. I think it's a crime I had to wait this long.
I was really convinced. It's a push and pull. I was convinced that it was going to be a little more Guardians of the Galaxy like, and I guess I'm happy that it's not. But I really wish it was a little more colorful than it was, because it felt kind of gray.
I do think that I wish that it was a little bit more colorful, but thinking about it, because I know you and I talked about it earlier a little bit about the color.
Yep.
I think the lack of color speaks to where Supergirl's emotions are at throughout the movie.
And I can hear that, because she's mucked up. She's messed up.
She is so messed up throughout the entire movie, just because of the fact that she holds on to all this guilt because of Krypton, because of all of that. She holds on to all of this stuff, and it's the reason why, like, you get the feeling that she's not really allowing herself to connect with Clark. All she really has is Krypto.
I really like this scene. Yeah, this was a standout scene for me. I really like the scene wherever she crashes on Earth, and then Superman's talking to her, but she can't understand him. And repeatedly, Superman's like, "What am I doing? You can't understand me."
Yeah,
and then continues the monologue.
Right, exactly. He's trying to tell her, like, you're gonna fall in love with this place.
Yes.
It's gonna be great. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I know you don't understand, but eventually you will. And I don't know if I'm ever gonna repeat myself, but eventually you'll understand what I'm saying. And it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I love the suit. I know that you didn't love the S initially. Have you warmed up about that since?
I think I warmed up to it a bit from the first film.
Mm-hmm.
I love Supergirl's suit. I will say that. Especially because of the fact that in the first movie, it was more when she was in Superman, it was more reminiscent of being a female copy of his suit. But then they took aspects of the Woman of Tomorrow suit, the belt, specifically the belt. They took aspects of the Woman of Tomorrow suit from the comics, and then took it to the screen, which I love when they do that, because of the fact that I just love when art pays homage to other art. It's a beautiful thing.
I enjoyed Ruthie throughout the movie. I think she was a little mouthier in the comics. She's a lot spunkier.
She is a lot spunkier in the comics. And you also brought up a really good point earlier about her being super capable in the back half of the film.
Yeah, she just starts doing stuff, and I was like, "What? You can do this the whole time?"
Like you were just sitting back and chilling while Kara did all this stuff, and you could have been helpful.
Yeah, I didn't realize how helpful. Like Lobo was even like, "Oh, that's pretty good."
Lobo legitimately at one point in the film like gives her the whole "I'm proud of you."
I really enjoyed Lobo in this movie.
Lobo was great.
I'm very happy that Jason Momoa gets to be Lobo. I think you were talking about the only thing you felt kind of weird about was his eyes.
Yeah, I think just the CGI around the eyes, they made him look it was a little bit off-putting, because it almost made his face look very not real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if maybe it was, I don't know if it was contacts or CGI. It could have been red contacts. It could have been just contacts that made his eyes look that way.
Yep.
Or it could have been them using CGI to change his eyes, which, I mean, but it was a tiny bit off-putting. I also, in terms of, we haven't really touched upon the entire center part of the movie where we get all of the backstory of Krypton and all of that.
I'll get us out of the way quickly, because Adam has a very, very different view. I do not F with Jor-El, and I think it's definitely just because of modern comic books, because I don't think he used to be any sort of malicious. I think he's always just been like a stalwart scholar, but I don't love Jor-El, so knowing that Jor-El is just kind of a psycho in this universe, I like that. I like it because I don't like him, and if he shows up, I'm gonna keep not liking him. I'm just a hater, but he shouldn't be this way, and I know that you feel very strongly about the origin of Superman.
I don't think that Jor should be this way. I honestly think that the relationship between Jor and Cal should be at least before Jor actually shows up, because I mean in the comic books Jor is kind of he's an acquired taste. He's an
in
acquired
that Bendis
taste
run?
In the Bendis run. We'll get to my opinions on that later, because it's even before the Bendis run when we first meet like actual Jor, and you know he's doing the same thing to Cal that Thomas Wayne does to Bruce.
I think it's
where he's like, I just don't want my son to be a superhero. What do you mean? You know, your son's both of your sons are the superheroes. They're the quintessential superhero. They're the superhero to end all superheroes.
I'm curious if
y'all are just like, nah, we don't want them to be superheroes.
I'm curious if the authors knew they were doing that, like they talked about that beforehand, or if just out of the blue, both of them are doing
the same
dads.
thing. Yeah, the same thing at the same time. The entirety of City of Bane happens because of Thomas.
I don't want to talk about City of Bane. That leads to a certain death I don't want to talk about.
And they still haven't brought him back.
He has a new butler now, and I was like, no. I was like, what are we doing? He has a lady butler now.
Yeah, but the new butler is the niece of Alfred, I think. Okay. But
that doesn't make it feel better.
Anyway,
that doesn't replace Alfred.
To get to my opinions, I think that the relationship between Jor and Cal should be very similar to the relationship that Zor and Kara had in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The loving father that he really doesn't want. You get the feeling that he really doesn't want to send his daughter away.
But there is no other choice.
And then there was no other choice but to send her to Earth. And he's like, yeah, don't do what your crazy uncle said that he wanted Cal to do. Be a protector for those who can't defend themselves. Which is the exact same message that Jor should have sent with his son. But we're getting crazy Overlord Jor instead of the scientist. Which, I mean, in the comics he's a very, very interesting guy. He's not crazy Overlord, but he
still has good intentions though.
He has good intentions, but he's not very good at them.
He's not good at intentions. But we pivoted really, really hard. The Krypton scene in the Supergirl movie, I do like the relationship between her parents, and it's mostly we spend a little more time with the dad than the mom, but it's cool
because
to
she's
see.
Unfortunately, she's the first to come down with the kryptonite the sickness.
They fridged my girl. I'm sorry.
It was.
Yeah, they're like, all right, mom's gone. I was like, oh. All right.
Even though Allura and Zor in the comics are, as far as I know, they're still actively alive on Argo. In the comics, I'm like 95% sure that
someone can fact check this if they're
either alive on Argo or they're alive in Kandor. It's one of the two, but I'm pretty sure they're still alive. And then Jor is from the past. The only one of the modern L's that hasn't come back, I think, is Lara.
Unfortunately.
Why can't Superman have his mom? One of the authors out there gives Superman his mom back at this point. You've brought back all the other L's except for her. I think that's criminal.
You have anything else to say about the Supergirl movie? Any other things you want to tackle?
I think I have an interesting one.
Go on.
Where do green suns come from?
I can't remember if it is in the book. It's just been a while. In the book, she does go somewhere where she is weakened, but I was like, green sun.
Green sun is a very interesting choice because, like, they don't even necessarily explain what that means. There's not really any science behind it. Like, is it infected with kryptonite? Is it?
How did it get green?
It's not even, because I even did a little bit of scientific research. There's no green sun. There's no basis in science for a green sun.
It was Brainiac.
So I mean, it's cool that, like, you know, we're taking creative license, That's fine. I just wish that there was an explanation.
I felt like there could have been a better thing.
And if James Gunn wants to come in the comment section and explain what he was thinking,
Please, I'd love that.
The director was
Something
Gillespie, right?
I can Google it. You can
I
keep
can't remember
talking.
what his first name was. I don't know why I'm blanking on it.
I never knew.
Is it Scott?
I haven't. I type slow, all right. Craig Gillespie.
Craig Gillespie.
Yeah.
If either one of them want to hop on our comments and explain exactly where the green sun comes from, I would love to hear it. Or, if they want to add it to the next movie, I'm interested. I'm not necessarily slamming the idea. I'm interested in knowing more. And I think that's one of the big things with regards to finally having a new universe.
Yep. I just want some
explanations. It's kind of cool that with adaptations to not know something, to not be able to immediately run to the comics and we can theorize. It's cool to have somewhere to go, and I think that's one of the big things that I'm really enjoying is judging the film and the art off of what we're getting versus what is being adapted.
I hope that in the next project, which I assume is going to be Man of Tomorrow, the next project we see Supergirl in, it better be Man of Tomorrow.
I know she's in it.
I hope she has like a...
Millie has said that she has a large role.
Oh, that's great to hear. I want to see her fight more, I guess, because she was under Red Sun's influence for most of the time, and she was depowered or not at full power for most of the movie.
But she was still holding her own.
Yeah, no, because she's Supergirl, because she's uber powerful. I want to see. We got to see a great showcase of Superman on her. I want to see the super case of Supergirl.
Honestly, I think what I want to see is I want to see more of Supergirl being super, and then I also want to see more of Superman being able to accomplish things without his abilities. Because Superman is a very capable character in the comics of even like fighting without his abilities. I mean, he spent years in comic book time without his powers because he was infected during the big Vandal Savage story during the New 52.
Okay, I did. Yeah, I thought it was New 52. Oh yeah, he was like riding a motorcycle or something.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that was every time he used his solar flare ability, he would lose all of his powers.
I really liked the solar flare ability though. It was really cool every time he did it.
It was cool, but then he would spend so much time without his powers, and the more often he used it, the longer he spent without his abilities. Because there was a point where he spent multiple years, and he thought, like, I'm never going to be Superman again. Like, I'm just going to be the Punisher for real.
No, don't do that.
Running around with a trench coat and a Superman and an S on his chest.
Please don't be a Punisher, Superman. We have enough bad men. We need a Superman. I'm very excited for the future of Supergirl. I'm excited to see her bumping.
I am too. I'm just excited to see Millie in more things.
I hope that they do something animated with her because it seems to be going back and forth.
Because it's interesting to see, like, I've seen her in interviews, and she made a joke in an interview she was doing for the press tour for Supergirl, where she made a joke about I'm not really an actress, I'm just kind of doing things. I just feel like I want to see her in more things. I think she's great.
She is great.
And I think anybody that hates her online, I think you're wrong. I think people that hate on any of the people that have been cast in any of these movies are just statistically wrong. Even I was skeptical about David at first, but I mean,
I was balls to the wall the entire time. I was so excited for the Superman movie. I remember you had hopeful skepticism.
I was hopefully skeptical, and I was also still very much in my mind about, we had 3 Supermen on the screen at the same time. And then we had 3 again. We didn't really have 3 again. We just had 2. And, Tyler Hoechlin was doing such a fantastic job with Superman and Lois.
That's true.
The CW managed to bring Brandon Routh back, which was insane. And at the same time, we got teased that Henry was coming back, and then nothing happened.
That one hurt really bad.
That hurt really bad because it seemed like we were going to get what he wanted Superman to be, because they were finally going to let him be the actual hopeful version. Which I'm not hating on Zack Snyder. I enjoyed Zack Snyder's movie, but the alluded Jesus Christ stuff.
Yeah, like him, like, Dad. You, hey, you. There is a comic book about this movie, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. You should go find it. Go Google
read it.
Go read it. Google where comic book stores nearby. Comic book stores are really fun. They're really cool. Go find one.
Also, DC Infinite exists.
Yeah, that's what I have. I do a lot of.
I read everything on DC Infinite. I will buy the comics though. Yeah, and I'll go out and buy them, and then I leave them sealed, and then I read them on my phone. Because guess what? Those comics are going to be worth money, and I still get to read them.
I've read a number of things on my phone, and I've gone to buy it physically because I love it. I liked it so much that I wanted to own it.
We've come a long way technologically from when we used to buy 2 comic books, one to leave sealed and one to read. Because that's how I used to do it. You know, I used to buy 2. I used to buy 2 of everything. I watched you
buy 2 of like those X-Men ones. The Gene
Yes, I bought 2 of which run was that? That's X-Men. The House of X. House of X.
Thank you everybody for joining in with us today. I hope that we can do something like this again with something else we watch. Maybe I know we have
or something we read. You know,
or something we read. Yeah. We have already done a Superman video, but I'd happily rewatch Superman and talk about Superman again. Just cause.
I think once Supergirl is streaming, we do a double feature and then we watch it
back to back.
And honestly, I think if we both go watch Supergirl again, I think we should revisit this and talk about some other things that we didn't talk about here. Because obviously, 30 minutes we didn't talk about the whole movie.
That's true. For the first like 10, 15, we didn't. Like 10, 12 minutes, we did not talk about the movie. But yes, thank you for everyone joining me today, for joining us today.
Joining all 4 of us.
All 4 of us. Thank you, Adam, for joining me today. I love talking with everything about you. Everything comics and superhero, and soon probably anime, because you watch My Hero. I'm trying to get this guy to record something about My Hero. He likes My Hero a lot.
I'm working on a lot of things. I've got a lot of things planned. I've got a lot of things planned. Bendis run.
Bendis run. I don't like the Bendis run, but that's what. Yeah, that's what this is for. Okay, anybody that's watching this, leave below things you liked about the movie, things you didn't like about the movie. Are you hopeful?
Questions for us. We can come back on here and answer questions, whether independently or together.
Yeah, we can make it short, or we can make a big video about it. Yes, but please leave something below.
Say hi. You know, I could spend 5 minutes addressing the fact that you said hi.
All right.
I'll take that as a challenge.
All right. Well, we're gonna head out of here. Thank you for watching, and have a good day, and thank you, Adam, for joining me.
Of course, anytime. I'm always around.
Hi, that's a Superman reference.
It is a Superman reference.